everything I did was unique because I really did have like a martial arts background.
Vaughn, you also have such a creative style in there.
It was really that like Young Bucks like super kick era. But I'm not gonna do any of that. What I am gonna do is try to find different ways of making moves my own way.
What's the story behind you developing your Dropsault?
That was kind of by discovery accident. Well, I met AJ initially at WCW. I always like to remind him when I would see him, like, man, you were a prick. Like, when I met him, he's like, oh, no, I wasn't, pal. Come on. You making that up, pal.
What is the story behind you're saving Triple H with Brian, and then you guys get pedigreed anyway?
Don't remind me about that shit.
Rewind, recap, relive. Woo! That's what the world is watching.
My first guest has been making his name known worldwide for over 13 years, bringing extremely innovative moveset to country after country and representing Canada along the way. Master of the Vaughn-ton Bomb, please welcome V-Guy Vaughn Vertigo.
Hello, I thought that was Paul's intro at first, but I got really confused.
No. Well, you guys are similar. Yeah, no, Vaughn-ton Bomb, then you knew.
Yeah, that I understood.
How's
No, I
that
mean,
similar? I've never heard of that before. That sounds fresh.
Vaughn-ton Bomb is a sick move, which
It's,
I can.
it's just a swanton bomb to the back, and you like
But
land
I
on
think
your
it is so cool to see.
No, I dig that.
feet. Yeah.
I don't even know if the next person needs an intro. He's returning to the show. You've seen him in
Pro
Ring of Honor,
wrestling guy. Pro
TNA,
wrestling
WWE,
guy.
Lucha Underground, ever in between, Intrepid Traveler, currently on the run from the law,
Currently on
Independent
the run.
Wrestling Hall of Famer, Paul London. How you doing?
I'm doing swell. So far I'm not in cuffs and things are looking good. You know what I
I
mean? I
mean,
should have never made a deal with those for those cats. Those never mind. Uh
don't worry about the cat. I mean, he's not in the forest now. He's inside, so that's
Right,
Yeah,
he's
that's
broken in
right.
somewhere.
Well, I had
he's
such a
broken in
good
somewhere.
spot. I had such a good spot in the forest, and then the one device kind of clunked out. I was like, I can't. I've downloaded and gotten rid of Zoom so many times where it's just like, oh, I keep having these meetings on this other thing. Not as good as Zoom. And whatever, just my phone ends up being kind of a juggling non-musical chairs rotation of deleting apps, re-downloading. It's such a silly life that everyone lives now with phones, and it's crazy.
But it's very cool we're able to get you both here in the same spot. I'm so excited for this one. Vaughn, you're fresh off a very innovative match that we spoke about a little bit off air with Mystery Wrestling, where
Oh
you
God.
were
Okay.
we're jumping right into
Welcome.
it. You
Oh man.
were one of many variations of Jeff Hardy.
Yeah,
Um,
yes.
Wow.
That
yes.
is Evil Uno's Mystery Wrestling. They had a backyard wrestling show. I was one of four Jeff Hardys of I was G off Hardy from Cameron, North Dakota. Uh, there was Jeff Hardy with a hard D. There was Jeff Hardy with like HRDEIH. And I can't. And then there was Black Jeff Hardy as well. Let's not forget that.
Were you with
Yeah.
a G in your name? Was it spelled the G?
Yeah, it was with a
Your
G. Yeah,
name?
G off Hardy.
Awesome.
Geoff
G off.
Hardy.
But the
Duh,
idea
you
was like
said that. I
every
was like, wait, G off. Is he like an Indian? I don't know what's going on.
the idea was like every backyarder was basically a Jeff Hardy mark, so everybody had like a variation of it. That's what Uno wanted for the match, anyways, and it was just ridiculous. No
What
fans,
was
of course.
Uno?
Evil Uno, yeah.
Yeah, I know Evil Uno, but like, was he in a match where he had to be something different?
He was just like hosting the show for this one.
Ah,
He wasn't on the
come
show for this
on.
one. I know. He usually just does the hosting for Mystery Wrestling. Occasionally he wrestles for it.
Well, hopefully he's watching this, and when they do the Sting show, he'll let me do the Joker Sting.
Ooh,
Would you want to
Sting,
do
Because that's
Joker
my
the
Sting,
Sting
Paul?
show.
that's my favorite. Are you
It's your
kidding?
favorite Sting?
Yeah, easily, easily.
Oh, that's so cool. I loved that Joker one. Yeah. I think it
Yeah,
totally
it's
different
so
side to see.
good. It's such a like bizarre study on him and kind of what he was into like that time. It was like
Mhm.
he stumbled upon his like family's like DVD or Blu-ray collection or something like late at night, coming back from church like a midnight mass or something like that. And he's just like sitting there like, "What do you want me to do, Lord? What do you want me to do?" Yeah, he gets up and he like goes, like, picks up Dark Knight. It's dark outside. I am your night. Put this in. He's like never heard of it or
Yeah,
seen it.
I
But then
know.
he's like
Revolutionary.
captivated by the Heath Ledger role instead. He's not, which isn't even like the night in the fucking movie. And then he's just like, oh, I've got $1 million idea. Uh, it just happens to be like a decade after I think the movie. Anyways, I
It
love it.
was. It was
Like
a decade after. Yeah.
I love it, dude. I love it. I love it. I'm like, and he commits.
He's
I think
so
that's the
committed. The
part that I
face paint,
love.
the disheveled face
Yeah.
paint, like it was,
Oh,
yeah,
the facial expressions under the face. But I'm like, he might be my second or third favorite Joker behind Cesar Romero and Heath Ledger, of course,
of course.
and Jack Nicholson. Yeah, that'd probably put what Steve Borden fourth. My favorite list of favorite
No,
Jokers.
nobody other outside the wrestling sphere would know what you're talking
That's
about.
hilarious.
What are you talking? Come on, Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger,
Nah, Steve
Cesar
Steve
Borden.
Borden.
Romero. These are the top Jokers. I don't.
Just
And then we
yeah,
got Steve Borden.
Steve Borden.
Sting. I heard somewhere that the singer Sting pays him royalties
Really?
or pays
I
like
just heard. I saw some similar post. I think. I don't know. I think
right, like he pays him
he like
like
lets him use it.
To use the
Something.
yeah,
name.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, really?
I was like, what? What was his?
That's
Oh,
outrageous.
wait, you're right. I think because the wrestler Sting owns it. Like he actually owns the
Oh,
trademark, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure. But he lets the other Sting use it because why not? I guess.
let
Let's, yeah,
let
or accepts payment. But
should I? Yeah, I should.
Vaughn, for you, that it was a very entertaining match that Jeff Hardy won. But I'd love to take it all the way back to the beginning for you, starting when you start training at 14 years old, right? If I'm correct for wrestling.
yes.
What?
Yeah, yeah. I started training at 14 in Toronto, Canada. Probably a little too early to start training. I wish I waited till it was 16, 17. My body wasn't fully developed. I see Paul nodding his head. I think he
No, I'm so happy you're Canadian. You've been locked. You like even with when you said 14.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. This is your interview.
No, well, I mean it's similar to like a lot of the UK wrestlers you talk to. Like they started early. I was an exception in Canada. Not many people started at my age. Most people were at
Was it
least
in a
18.
ring or backyard
No, I
trampoline?
started in a ring, yeah, with
Amazing.
yeah, Squared Circle Wrestling in Toronto under Rob Fuego. I would have met you, Paul, there at in 2014 when you came to wrestle. I think it was Josh Alexander and Brent Banks.
Yeah, was
Like
that
a three-way.
why do I want to say Rob Fuego?
Yeah, it was Fuego. Yep, yep.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I'm trained by Fuego.
Oh yeah, I really
Yeah.
liked him. I was like, this guy is like kind of like Timu Eddie Guerrero. Um,
Is El
like
Salvadorian, I believe.
oh, Salvadorian Eddie Guerrero,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Eddie Salvadero. Like he was, yeah, I really liked him, and everyone I met had always really really nice things, and he trained a ton of guys. Like
Yeah.
a, like he doesn't get talked about much at all. I don't understand. It just
He
um
trained a lot of like that TNA knockouts division, a lot of like the 2000s era of wrestlers out of like Toronto were in by him for sure. Because he was
did
trained by
he
Ron Hutchinson, which was also
yeah
Edge and Christian. Yeah.
Was it Horan Hutchinson and Sweet Daddy
Yep.
Sicky or something like that?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Ron Hutchinson's actually
Um,
back teaching, as far as I know, at Santino's school now.
okay, and
Yeah,
Santino, was that for Battle
that
Arts?
would be Battle Arts, yeah, in Toronto.
Battle Arts? Okay. See? Well, it's a day of my Canadian
Yup.
my Canadian tea.
Paul,
Um,
when did you first
yeah.
start trading, Paul?
Uh, too early.
Yeah, that's how I
Um,
feel.
well, I don't know. I started training. I attempted to start training in '96 when I was 16, and uh, oh, funny. So I'm in the process of moving like stuff and moving through stuff. That's all we'll say about it. Like I am going through old stuff in my uh, storage and my folks' attic at their place. And so I'm stumbling upon a bunch of neat things. But one of them is this fucking sham. Uh,
This is gonna be like the Pro Wrestling Illustrated, like how to become a wrestler kind of thing. One of those.
no, it's a
Like the
signed
mailer.
Shawn Michaels Playgirl. Oh, okay. Uh, no,
Sick.
it's a. I don't know if you can see it, but
Diploma.
Oh,
my
Oh, Skull
that's
Crushers Wrestling School.
awesome.
Okay. That's
yeah.
rad.
When I was 16. What year is this shit? Oh no, nine. This is 98, but I don't think that's correct. It might have been 98.
Did they
So
maybe
I'd
give
say,
it to you
why
later?
would my parents let me go at 16? Like they're smart. Um, 18 is a little more. So maybe I was 18 when I went to this Adrian Street school, but he just ripped me off. I had tried to start training with some local guys who had a cable access show, and it was one of the worst things that like I wanted to train with them because I was already a mark for them because of how bad they were and how funny it was. So I just wanted to like be around them to see if it was real, like to
Right.
see if they were really that bad. And they had access to a ring, so that's kind of all I really cared about.
Especially at that
And
age, like you don't care. You just
oh,
want to be in a
yeah,
ring.
this was when I was 16 because
Yeah.
it was like a cable access show, and I called and I called and I called and I called and I called, and like after a while, this guy finally picked up, and he's like, "Oh, well, I figure you keep calling. You're probably pretty committed, and
Probably
you
have
should meet
money.
us at yeah." He's like, "Meet us at the rec center over in East Austin, and yeah, 6:30. See you there or something." And I showed up, and one or two of the guys from that little TV spot thing that I kept running into were there. I was like, oh my God, like they're almost like dressed in gimmick. Uh, and we went into like this rec center. I used to play basketball at this rec center when I was maybe 2 years prior because I would just always play on the East End, and it was just better basketball. So I was already familiar with this rec center, Givens Rec Center. It's a cool rec center. It's still there. And they didn't have a ring. So we went into like the weight room and they had like a boxing ring, but it wasn't really a boxing ring. It was just it was literally a flashback to fucking Skull Crushers. It was like a pole in the ground
Wow.
and ropes going into a wall. And they were
Okay.
like, that's the boxing ring. Um, and then there was like a mat on the ground. But even that day, because of having background with martial arts, I was already bumping like better than the
Yeah.
vets. Yeah, so I was
Because
like,
you knew how
okay,
to
this is
move. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, this is ridiculous. This is not what I'm looking for. Um,
So
you
you knew
know,
that immediately though. You didn't just
yeah,
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 okay.
I knew that
That's good.
immediately several times. I ran
Yeah.
into several um oh yeah, I would train this guy and like oh yeah, show up here. And I mean just I ran into a lot of that. I mean if it wasn't even I mean I flew to Pensacola to
Right.
get
Yeah.
ripped off by a guy, a lot of people are like, oh, it's a territory legend. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I studied territory wrestling, and like the Adrian Street matches have their neat little things, but like at the end of the day, he doesn't do it for me. So I'm like, it was the most affordable option. Like that's
Right.
honestly what it was, the most affordable option. Um, so I hope he got the most affordable eye care. Um, but oh, actually, check this shit out.
Let's see.
Oh my God, this is. I just found this. You will like this. I hope I can find. VHS
This
is
better be the
coming
playground.
back.
This is
This better be the
Yeah.
playground.
No, I'm
Oh
kidding.
damn! Oh
Uh,
damn! Speaking my language here.
so there used to be this independent wrestler. I don't know if he's. I don't know what the hell. He was named Shockwave the Robot.
Oh, I know. Yeah, of course. Shockwave the Robot. He's from Chicago, no?
Yeah,
I think he's like a
I
Chicago
think
guy.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
he was because I thought he was like a Pennsylvania. Definitely a Northeast guy.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
So if it is the same Shockwave the Robot, he and I stayed in one room at this Skull Crushers Academy. First of all, it's like $15. You get this pamphlet, like brochure sent to you out of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. It's all pre-internet, pre-phones, all that shit. Not pre-phones, but pre-cell phones. And so I got this pamphlet, and it was like, oh, it's state of the art, like everything. I'm pretty sure Jonah's heard this because I said the same thing at this kind of fall Hall of Fame ceremony that
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
whatever GCW likes to do to try and get guys to lower their rates for when they book them. Um, and so, long story short, the school was not what it was advertised, and so after like a week or two, we were frustrated. We're like, man, this is bullshit. Like the guy never here. He used our money on eye surgery. So we went around and we made like an expose, uh, like what the holes we put in the walls and like the naked Indian paintings we put over the holes, like the door that got ripped off, like just we like trashed this place, but it was already like a shithole. Um, and now you can watch all of it right here.
Skull Crushers tour on
That's
VHS.
amazing.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
because we were comparing the brochure, like, oh, what does this say? State of the art editing bay and
Uh,
TV equipment, and then we would like pan down to like the VC, like the VHS camcorder connected to like an old VHS, like a old VCR with like rabbit ears with tin foil.
yeah.
Like it was a fucking. And it was like, oh, private pool, and it was like a plastic kiddie pool that you would
Yeah.
see stacked up outside of like a hardware store. Um, Two rings. One of them was just like a rusted ring frame with weeds growing through it. Just the frame, no boards, nothing, no ropes, nothing. The second, like the gym, the state of the art gym, everything was state of the art. Like I said, lesson learned
Yeah.
at 16. Um, the gym was like a shed. It looked like a fucking like rapist hideout. And when I went to open the door, the whole door just kind of like came off. I was like, what the fuck is this? And so you go inside and yeah, it's like a wooden shed and there was a wooden beam kind of in the middle of the room and it had that kind of saw rope that has the twine kind of dangling off of it. It looks like the
Yeah.
rope has like little pubes on it.
Yeah.
Um, that rope was wrapped around the wooden beam and then again going into the wall, and then wrapped into the wall, like three ropes, just
Yeah.
one, a top, a middle, and a bottom. And then on the wall, he had the ropes painted. Swear to God. Uh, and it
Oh,
was
on the
carpeted.
painted on the wall.
Yeah, yeah. He only had three. He only had three ropes, and it was as if he
Like
pulled
you're
it out
wrestling in
of
your
the
basement as a
wall.
kid, you got like hit the ropes off the wall kind of deal.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
but he didn't. He never even stepped in that ring. Like he just showed up to try and sell us these paintings of like Native Americans, like warriors or something, like naked, like standing with like a wolf in front of their dick. They're like all serious. I'm like, what is this? He'd be like, oh, come on, I'll give you a discount, $75. And like, oh, like, you fucking piece of shit. How about 60? Um, and then so that, but like inside the shed next to the rope carpet fucking rapist lair thing, was a universal weight machine. And I guess that was the state of the art. You know, it looked like it was the test model from like, I don't know, 69 or something. Um, and then all the dumbbells, like none of them matched, and they all had barnacle on them, as if he had found them out of like a wreckage. Uh, and then there were 8x10s, um, like this, and they were all over the thing, and they were some of them were like signed, whatever. But I remember specifically the Regal one, the William Regal one, or it was Steven Regal, I think, in WCW at the time, whatever it was. Um, it was his signature, and then in like a obviously fresher years later Sharpie, he went in like different handwriting, wrote back like, "Thank you, Adrian, for teaching me everything I've ever learned and used. You're the best ever." Like this
It
fake,
was so
like,
fake.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like nobody ever write
That's
that.
so funny.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Yeah.
But you know, I met Sensational Sherry on that trip when we were like, "Fuck this guy," and we left and went to an independent show in Mobile, Alabama, and then we were hoping the guys there would teach us something. And there was this dipshit, uh, like Indian guy who you don't see too many Indian guys in wrestling who aren't doing the stereotypical gimmick. But and this guy wasn't. He thought he was Rick Rude, Macho Man, and and so he's like, "Hey, come on, I'll show you guys some stuff like before the show." And like we get in there and I lock up with him and I go behind and then he goes behind and he's behind me. He's like, "Reverse it," or something. He's like all tight on me. And so I'm like trying to think like, my channels aren't really open. So I look down and his foot's like right between my legs, right? So I reach down and I grab his foot and I just pull it and he falls. He's like, "Nah, you can't do that. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. That's not something you would do." And he goes, "Stop." And he's like, "Get out." Yeah, I was like, "What the? Who is this for?" So
It's
like,
not
funny
It's
enough,
something
funny
you
how
yeah.
you like you just don't know what you're gonna run into in those
Oh,
situations. Like I
oh,
remember seeing this seminar happen with this guy in Ontario where he had these couple kids in the ring, and I was probably like 18 or so at the time, so I didn't like really know at the time. But he's like, the whole idea was like you gotta be ready for anything. So the idea was hit the ropes, come back, and you'll take something. You gotta be ready for anything. This kid hits the ropes and he hits a drop. He throws a drop kick at this dude, hits him like just in the abdomen. He's like, gotta be ready for anything. I was like, what are you
what?
talking about?
What? I want to take this guy's seminar so bad.
Yeah, no, he's not so much in around anymore, but
Oh
gotta
my
be ready for
God, you gotta
anything.
be ready for anything.
The lowest drop kick you've ever seen.
I wish someone did anyone hit the ropes and just like hold on?
That'd be good.
I
That's
think he
good.
switched topics after that to something else. Yeah, I'm trying to
Oh
remember.
my God. Yeah, he was trying to avoid a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I was just not to get too off the topic of I think this is an amazing thing that you do, Jonah, like putting um a guy who whatever I'm at, and giving a highlight to somebody like Vaughn who A deserves it, but and looks like a wrestler. Like he looks like a wrestler. He's a wrestler. Like you can look at this guy and it's not something that you're embarrassed to be like, okay, like this is pro wrestling because there's so much of that today, which like, oh, this is fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
Um, but that's more wrapped up into like the thank you, um, that this is a cool thing that you're doing here. I'm trying not to crap on the spotlight here, but I think it's a neat opportunity because you started at 14. I started at a very young age in terms of my obsession. Um, when I was going through my things, this is my old room, and it's changed a lot. This is not how it used to be. This is my parents have kind of turned it into something else
Right.
since I've been away. But I used to have these big posters on the wall
Yeah.
here,
Oh,
uh, and I found a lot of them.
wait, this is awesome.
I remember distinctly like having posters on my wall. I mean, like in grade 9, I was like, girls are not gonna like me. I gotta like
Oh, I didn't
take
give a
all this off.
shit.
It was all like the WWE
Yeah,
magazine
Well, it's,
covers like
yep.
took off.
Hmm.
Ugh.
yeah, I didn't give a shit. I really didn't care. I mean, I had all
Jeff
this
Jarrett. Oh man.
stuff on my
Yeah.
wall. This is like my Pillman poster here.
These are like handmade collages
Yeah,
too.
the
It
straight up
looks
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
prints,
this
eh?
was all made. This was all made by me when I was a big Van Damme mark.
Oh man.
See, these are like coming
this
out. These
is
are
sick.
posters that would come out of the magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
What is that you're holding? Who
what?
is that? Yeah. Oh, is that
Look
What?
Van Damme?
his
Yeah,
face is like
that's Rob.
stretched in the
Yeah, I know. It's
photo.
very stretched. He looks like Shrek,
Yeah,
kind of. Oh, there.
Oh,
yeah.
there we go. Okay.
It's like that same jaw. It was kind of like, yeah. It's maybe, yeah. Kind of looks like China early on. Rest in peace. China was amazing. See, China was amazing. She's on here somewhere. I do have China's a big China mark. Um, I don't know who that is. Oh, that was this poster, which was really cool
Right,
for
yeah. Brett and Taker.
uh yeah, that match was amazing. But I was a big heart family kind of guy. My trainer who actually really helped train me, Ivan Putski.
Yeah.
Um and Candido I was always a big fan. Raven I was always a big fan. I was always a big Sean Mark. But I was always more of a fan when he was a heel. And he
Hmm.
would make faces like this. Uh always a big Genetti fan as well. I mean, he's got torn off the wall and stuff, so they're a little fucked. Here's like a whatever. Yeah, this one Tyson's the
Tyson, yeah.
enforcer. So these are like all on my wall,
That's so rad.
all this stuff. Um, yeah, there she is.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
No, this is a very cool collection for sure.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you saying that, Paul. Yeah, I love bringing together like the different, generations on this podcast like the most I can. I think it's definitely a cool blending. And with you two specifically, because I see a lot of similarities and definitely in style. So Paul, I'm curious because your style like has bled
I
in.
didn't know Swan's on nobody's back. Shit.
Your innovative style has lasted like so many years and it's still doing it. Did you always have that goal back when you're telling us like you're stepping into this crazy ring and stuff? Did you always have a goal to, create that innovative offense that you had?
I don't know if it was a goal, um, as much as it was just trying to use whatever tools I thought I could bring because keep in mind that this was mid to late 90s. So if we use that kind of we can even say 4 year period from 96 to 2000.
Mhm.
So from 96 to 2000, and that's not when I started being a fan. I was a fan from like 1990 onwards. No, I think 1990 around there is when I caught the bug.
Okay.
And that magazine might still be somewhere around here. I have plenty of other things that I need to get through that are old relics, including so I have like old gear and stuff
So you
from
kept all that stuff,
from
eh?
like
You didn't get rid of any of it?
no, I haven't gotten rid of any of my gear. This is like
I love that.
SummerSlam gear I wore with Kidman and
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love
Mysterio.
that.
Um, Here's all this old shit.
Oh, that's
This
the
is
is that like raw you and Kendrick? I
yeah, it's like
remember
the
there.
best.
Yeah, I remember that
These
for
are the
sure.
short.
Like you guys and
Uh,
Murdoch and Cade, that era.
yeah. Here are the tassels.
The first
I have,
fucking like
I have
episode of
probably one of
SmackDown I
our
watched.
shirts left.
Oh,
Sorry. Oh,
the
these are purple trunks that we wore like once, actually.
oh, trunks
Oh,
too, eh?
yeah.
Yeah.
With the actual hooligans on the back, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think we wore them once,
Because
and
you
I
guys
was
were
already
never like
like,
officially called the hooligans.
no, Crystal Marshall said it once on TV, and then they were like, don't ever
Mm,
say it again.
yeah. Because the
Yeah,
first episode of SmackDown I watched was that beat the clock match with you and Brian.
oh, wow.
That was the
That's
first
one
episode
match
I
I was always
saw.
really happy with.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like old gear, all this old shit, old. Some of the stuff I need to preserve a little better. I
Well, if it's
didn't
white,
have
I
gear
mean.
I never wore.
Oh man.
It certainly doesn't fit me now. Um, yeah, it. I don't know where I was going with any of this, but I think. Oh yeah, I was going to show you this too. Sorry, I haven't been able to show off any of
No,
my
it's
old
cool. This is like a
toys.
show and tell. Yeah.
Yeah, this is great.
This was like my bread and butter.
Oh, I love
Oh,
that.
nice.
Yes.
It's got the indie ropes on it now. Um, but yeah, that's pretty cool. That's an original,
Wow.
not like a reissue. I'm old. I would just get like anything that was like Western related. I was like such a mark. I mean, I still am. It's not something that kind of goes away. It's not. It may not be active, but it's not something that goes away.
Yeah.
I mean, who the fuck else buys this? Shawn Michaels using this little lever
God,
to
that's so good.
gorilla
Yeah.
press,
You got to be a diehard to
booty
get that.
short, Stone Cold.
Damn. Damn.
Those are fucking booty shorts. I turn this shit around.
The side up.
Those ain't no Stone Cold panties. Those are booty shorts with his shirt like tucked in. You better gorilla press this guy. He's an imposter. Anyways, I incorporated that. It was like I was still in the land of the giants in that late 90s period. You know, this is like the television wars, and it was still big guys. And so I had to use my athleticism and my kicks and my ability to jump and that kind of stuff. And I was usually pretty fast. Uh, so the things, and I think from having watched it obsessively and studied it, not that I knew what I was studying, it was just that I was rewinding it because something caught my attention. It could have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
a flow of something that I thought just was so smooth, but I didn't understand why.
Hmm.
It could have been something that looked devastating, and I didn't understand. I mean, it just as a viewer, I'm like, oh my God, that's fucking dead. I don't get it. Um, but I would rewind it all. So I think just in those, just I almost kind of clockwork orange myself into understanding how this should look and go and feel. So I picked it up extremely quickly everywhere, every trainer I had. But you know, everything I did was unique because I really did have like a martial arts background. I'm not like a lot of guys and girls that are kicking you without really understanding where they're kicking you or what part of their body they're kicking you with or any of that stuff. I mean, we're talking about usually a lot of these kicks are to your temple or to your spine or to your neck. Like, not at all somewhere that you want someone who doesn't really isn't know how to train in terms of kicking. You know, fuck, what are you talking about? You know, so um those kind of things, there's always going to be people that get into the business that probably shouldn't be.
Mhm.
It's just at a very higher rate now. And my style, I felt, was it seemed kind of kamikaze because as a smaller guy, um, you you wouldn't get a lot of promo time. You'd be lower on the card. You may not have really any storyline stuff, and like independently,
A lot of cold matches going in with no story, so you kind of had to
a
stand
lot of
out that
cold
way.
matches.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of cold matches, and it's like, well, who the fuck is this twerp? You know,
yeah.
and so it's like, how do you entertain them? Well, I know I can bump really well. I know I can sell really well. I know I can take stuff really well. But I can also put this in when the moment calls for it. And I can put this in when the moment calls for it. Now, I didn't know any of that stuff till way later on.
Hmm.
Uh, but in terms of just, I would try to do things that I saw that guys I was a fan of would do. So early on, I had a more of a Van Damme type style. Um, but I did a lot of things that Rob never did, and he
Yeah.
did a lot of things that I never did.
Right.
Uh, and I still think he takes turnbuckles questionably. I like Rob, but I think I've always had an issue with how he takes turnbuckles. It's like a kid just getting flung into the back seat of their car, the parents' car, like, get in there.
No, but I mean, yeah, it was very unique and it's cool. You blended like the martial arts. Vaughn, for you, like I'd love to hear your perspective on developing yours because you also have such a creative style in there.
Yeah, I think for me, a lot of like the movement came from like wrestling on my trampoline with my friends. Because when I got to training, I was able to like replicate move stuff fairly simply because I had that background athletically, but everything else was what, takes time to figure out. But in terms of like actually developing the style when I was doing shows, I started just kind of, it was really that like Young Bucks, like super kick era of when like 2013 is when I started doing shows. So everybody was just doing super kicks and everybody started doing Will Ospreay moves and whatnot. So I was just trying to like, because I'm a smaller guy, I didn't want to dip into like, oh, well, look, everybody's doing a springboard cutter, everybody's doing a super kick. Like, I'm not going to do any of that. What I am going to do is try to find different ways of making moves my own way, or just doing something people don't do. Like I started doing that, like that weird Jeff Hardy like slingshot Arabian moonsault he did like a couple
Yeah.
times in WWE.
I know what
Wow.
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and I started throwing that out, and people were like, "Wow, I haven't seen that since like Dragon Kid," kind of thing. From that, but
Is that like a regular Arabian, or is it going over the
over
rope
the rope, over the rope
to
in the
the in
corner.
the corner?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Oh shit.
yeah. That was always a fun one to pull out. I haven't been as good as it lately. I've fucked it up a couple times. I need to get back in the
That's
lab with that one. It's tough
that's
though.
tough.
It is a
That's
tough one.
tough.
Yeah.
What's the
I
story
mean,
behind the Vaughn-ton Bomb?
yeah.
Um. So I mean, another thing of like everybody's doing swantons. How do we make this different? And I was on a show actually for Uno, for Evil Uno, probably like 2017 or 2018. It was suggested to me, like, why don't you just try doing a swanton to the back? And then as I did it, I started just landing on my feet from it. And I'm like, oh, you hear about Jeff Hardy talking about how his hips are fucked from doing the swanton over the years. Why don't I just do this land on my feet so my knees will be fucked? But um, but it ended up being like a setup move to use my finish now, and it's kind of like a unique way of doing it. I'm trying to get like the arch that what like Jeff would do with the
Yeah,
swanton.
I think it's so cool. I've never seen anything,
Yeah.
and the name is perfect as well.
Are they
Well, I mean,
standing? Are they standing and then it's to the
they're bent.
back?
They're bent over. They're not on their knees. They're like bent over.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you need them? perfectly bent over, or like it sounds similar to how I ask guys to set up for
like a double
when
stomp.
when I stomp on their back,
Yeah.
but I'm wondering if you run into a lot of the same things that I do in terms of,
Hmm.
you know, how do you usually, what do you do before to set them up that bends them over or like gets them in that position?
That can either be the case of like you're on the top rope and you have to fight them off. My favorite way to get people into it would be if they are somebody who does a Hurricane Rana, then I will like hold on to the rope and they take
Sick.
the belly bump and then they're in position. But sometimes it's just like they go for the superplex, they take the belly out, or sometimes it's just I hit something, they kick out, go to the top, hit it. Um,
Sick. What
yeah,
do you prefer for them to be on their feet slightly bent over so you have a small table, or do you prefer them to be almost on like one knee, almost
no, bent
90
over
degrees?
because I think the higher they are, the better chance I'm gonna land on my feet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because at
Hmm.
first I thought it was like they were like just getting up like on a table with on all fours.
Ideally, they're
I
selling from
thought, is he a
like
midget? Like, how does he
yeah,
land so
yeah. If
big?
it is somebody shorter, it is tougher for sure. But I tell a lot of people
Yeah.
to you have to be like you have to be a strong base rather than belly it out immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impressive. I just never, yeah, like Jonah said, I've never seen anything like it. Literally, I still haven't seen it. So like, I'm already
I
kind
know
of
you're
marking on.
just like trying to
Yeah.
imagine
Well,
this.
there's a
Like,
few people
What
who
sounds
do the
awesome.
bent or the on like kneeling version. I like Flash Morgan Webster does the swanton to the back where they're kneeling.
Love Flash. God, I'm
Flash is the man. I
such a
just
mark for
wrestled him a few
Flash.
I just wrestled him a few weeks ago, and we're doing it in a match for Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling coming up. But
Oh, dude.
he's the fucking man. I love him.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess because Commonwealth countries, you'd be able to get over there and vice versa easier.
Yeah, it is easier. I actually have a US visa, so I'm able to go to the States right now.
Okay.
But yeah, that was
No,
another
go to
goal.
UK. There's a lot. I mean, if you can get over to UK, there's a lot of fun wrestling over there. There's a lot of
Yeah, man.
weird
I was actually
wrestling
going to ask you
over there.
about your time with PCW with Stephen Flutter.
Oh, and Preston. Yeah, it's unfortunately it's not. He's growing it back. I
Yeah.
think it was a really hot
When you were there, it was
thing.
real hot.
Yeah, it was when
Yeah.
it was like when it first started. I might have been on like one of the first couple shows.
Hmm.
He loved Chris Masters. He probably still does.
I think I've
But
heard he went to his wedding.
I love Masters. Yeah, like Masters is the man. He's like I've never heard a single bad thing about Masters, but he was particularly like by one time they had a wrestling school and I think like he had Masters like portrait like painted on the wall.
Oh no,
Or
it is on
something.
the wall. I've been to that school. Yeah.
Oh,
There's the
awesome!
AJ
Yeah.
Styles on the wall as well. Yeah. And I think Devon Dudley or something.
God, you would think Steven would put me on. Anyways, I always had a
Yeah.
great time there. I stayed at his house.
Did you
He was always
stay
a
in
cool guy.
did you stay at his house or did you stay in like the pub he was living in?
No, this was
This would
a
have been
house.
before
This was
that.
back before when he was I think he was married or engaged or whatever.
Okay,
So
yeah,
I
before.
never met I met his previous missus
Hmm.
when he first started the promoting thing because he
Yeah.
was green as shit, so he would make a lot of kind of boneheaded mistakes and bookings. It's like, what the fuck? Why are you like? I remember there was a lot of PC. I have more fond memories of PCW. I can't think of any bad ones to be honest with you. Um, but what really kind of gutted, I think, that promotion initially, and I'm not saying it's dead because
Hmm.
it's by no means dead, but it hit the skids for a bit, and I think a lot of that had to do with when they like they were at a nightclub called Evoke.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, in
since
which
it
Steven
burnt,
had shown me that, yeah. I,
yeah, it burnt down,
yeah.
and that was that was like the ECW arena for this
That's what
company. I
made
mean,
the
it was
vibe.
like
Yeah.
it was awesome. And we had a few outdoor shows like in the square. Shout out to Nando's. And Preston's a
You know.
cool little town. Like
It
I've
is,
walked
yeah.
around Preston a
I
lot, and
I
it's
was
a
almost stuck there for the pandemic, actually.
oh really for the
I
pandemic?
was I wrestled for WXW and then went to PCW right
Awesome.
after, and that's when the world shut down, and we had three
Oh my
days to leave the
God.
country.
There are worse places to be stuck, but
Yeah,
they
that's
had
true.
to, they were going to boot you out, or you were just going to be stuck there? How did
The
that work?
Canadian border was being shut down, so we had to fly back, or we were going to be stuck in the UK. This is like March 2020.
Mhm.
Yeah, there are worse places to be stuck,
Yeah.
I guess. You could have been. I was stuck in LA, so Jesus.
Oof. Yeah, I know.
Uh,
That's way more worse.
so, but Preston I loved very much. One of the first times I went there, he would do these like crazy, um, like battle royals or rumbles with like 50 people in them, or I can't remember, something absurd, like a Preston Rumble. And the first time I went there, I did like my typical entrance, and I can't remember if I were Joey Hayes or
Oh yeah,
Travis.
Joe Hayes. Yep, met
Um,
him.
Rest in peace to Travis. Lionheart. I mean, so many guys that have come through there,
Yeah.
but I did my long entrance, and Steven didn't really like. He was like, the entrance need to be shorter. But he didn't get that that was like part of my thing at the time. I guess
Is
it
this
kind
like
of still is.
the spacesuit you were wearing, kind
Yeah,
of? I was gonna say I remember seeing that.
and
Yeah.
and I was and I had just done this like stunt work on the Dust Till Dawn TV show and like some background stuff on like the pilot. And so I had all these leftover set cigarettes that are just like cloves
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
are like, it's not like
They're
bubble gum with,
herbal. Aren't they herbal cigarettes? I
yeah,
think that's what they're
yeah.
called.
So,
Yeah.
so like, I think I lit one up during my entrance. And
In the UK.
this lady that works at the nightclub, she like raced. I was just like, you can't do that. Oh, I do it. I don't know. Like I was just like creating this like this
God.
raucous like entrance, and then he had like such a problem with it, and then like his tune changed almost overnight because he got such like feedback. Like, everyone loved it and everything. So then when I came back the next time, it was for some rumble. And he goes, "Okay, I've got this idea. When you enter, you'll enter like sixth or something, but we'll have a camera on you. And you enter, go around the ring, and then leave the building. And
You
then
just
you'll
don't
go to
come
like a,
out.
yeah."
Yeah.
And he was like, "You can go wherever you want." Like I went to like a candy store, and like I went to like somewhere around, like I
The
went around
American Candy Store
town.
or whatever.
Yeah, about the,
Ugh.
yeah, it was so stupid. And then when I finally made my entrance like an hour or something later, uh, like I got in just to get like eliminated because of this candy. So then fast forward to maybe less than around 10 years ago, somewhere in there, I was in the UK. I flew in, and this is maybe one of the last days I ever flew in and wrestled on the same day because I hate doing
That's
that.
tough,
Um,
especially
it's
over there.
brutal. So flew there. Jay Lethal was on the same show. This was for I'll remember, maybe Southside, I can't remember.
Southside's on
Ben, yeah, this
Television,
was
yeah.
for Ben.
Okay.
So that day I worked this kid, Brady Phillips, super good kid, super talented. And there was a mistiming on like a pop-up European that he gave me, and he got under me, and I took a header and
Oh.
dislocated uh my AC joint. And so my bone was like sticking up. This is
Ah.
like the night I get there, like the
Oh.
day I get there. And my bone's like sticking up. And I'm like, oh fuck. And it's not piercing the skin or anything, but it's clearly separated. And then I remember going up to the top rope and I was like, oh, I'm supposed to do like a shooting star. Like, fuck that. So then, like an idiot, I called I was like, start good enough, I'll give you a sunset. I thought like a sunset flip off the top rope would be better than
Oh.
trying to do a shooter. Um, and so I did it with the sunset. I can't remember if that was the finish or not, but I hope it was. But then I was like, the rest of my tour was just wiped out. And
Yeah.
Flutter actually stepped in uh, and was like, "Hey, if you want to be a part of this Rumble thing, we can do a similar gimmick, and you just get in and then get out, get
Yeah.
thrown out." I
Keep
was like,
yourself
"Oh,
safe.
that." So I did that, that was the last time I think I worked for PCW, and sadly, it was Lionheart actually that eliminated me. This was shortly before his passing.
Yeah.
But in that entrance, I went to a karaoke bar because I was in a sling from my separation joint. But I went to a karaoke bar and sang a couple hits, and this was all like live streaming on the entrance. So stupid.
That's
Yeah, just this
awesome, though.
long. So Flutter got the joke pretty easily, or got the thing pretty
Yeah.
easily. But I have no complaints about PCW. I have fond memories of Preston. I hope, are you going there again and more? Are you going there a lot
I
more?
haven't been there to be. I've been over 14 tours now, but I haven't been there in.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I've been over a lot. So I worked for Southside as well, but this was mostly like
Yeah.
2018, 2019, then like 2022, 2023, past couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's doing more shows. My buddy Shady Natros does a lot of shows
Oh
over
yeah.
there. He's hilarious. Um, and he seems to do a lot more kid shows, which I think is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, you know, I think, yeah. Wrestling gets to where it starts taking itself so seriously that you
Yeah.
get what we have today. And, you know, it's not convincing enough in the right areas
I
for
think the
that.
last show I did, or maybe not the quite last show I did for Flutter, but it was the venue like canceled the day of, so we ended up doing it at
Ah,
the training school. But that was literally a
okay.
scenario of like there was nowhere to change. So we were literally like standing in the audience, and it's like, all right, up next, your next contest, Vaughn Vertigo. And you walk out from the bathroom, you know,
That's
into the ring. It
awesome.
was hilarious. It was
That's
such a
that's like
we were
Lionheart.
all so bummed, and then when we did it, we were like, oh, let's just have fun with this.
That's badass,
Yeah, it's
dude. That's like
hilarious.
Lionheart shit. Like you, me? Oh, I guess they said my name. All right.
Yeah.
Paul, I don't
I
think I've
think
ever heard the
wrestling.
story. What's the story behind you developing your drop salt?
That was kind of by
It's an accident.
discovery accident.
Hmm.
Yeah, discovery accident. Same with, I used to do, uh, this was like a 50-50. This was like the accuracy of a Kidman shooting star was I used to be able to do a running leg lariat where I could hit
Land
them
in
in
the
such
pin.
a way where if they bumped, I could hit them and turn right into the pin.
So cool. So fucking cool.
Yeah. And then all it took was me getting crunched once to be like, fuck that. I'm gonna be like
Did somebody
tapping them
bump?
with
Did
my
somebody bump
foot.
on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happened to me too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, off a
It,
calf
it's
kick for sure.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And so I was like, nope. And then with the drop salt, since I was always a Mr. Perfect fan, I was always a huge fan of standing drop kicks. I always thought Sean had a great standing drop kick. Um, those were kind of my two guys that I thought about. And so one day I was just kind of doing standing drop kicks and just focusing on the aim and the placement and the push off so that it would initiate my turn. And I got that, and this is where the martial arts really helped come in mind was that it was just look, anything you do when you're kicking, watch your foot
Mm,
all the way through. A lot of people focus solely on the target, but you also have to focus on your foot. That's why a lot of people break their feet when they
yeah.
throw kicks because they don't know how to position their foot properly. But but you want to watch it all the way through. Uh, so watch when people throw kicks if they're keeping their eyes on their feet all the way through a kick, or if they're even watching it to begin with, and you'll be surprised.
Hmm.
And even if they are watching it, there's so many different things with foot placement. I sound like a martial arts snob, but regardless, there's the heart style drop kick when I train wrestlers, and it's like, well, there's this regular American style where you drop kick with ideally a right or a left foot above the other, and you press off the chest or maybe up near the head area, which they should have a hand up and turn their face. That'll then turn you into that. Or you can do the heart style drop kick, which is more like a kangaroo, where you just not having a tail, you jump up and press straight on to their chest and take a back bump.
Mm.
Um, that one to me is a lot more jarring because A, you're taking a big back bump, and it can just be harder to brace for. It's always harder to take a higher back bump because it becomes a timing thing. When you're taking a bump from your feet, you get conditioned to the timing because you didn't grow a foot overnight. So your height is your height. When you jump, occasionally depending on a ring, it might be a little springier, it might be less springier, you might have less jump, you might have more jump. Uh, little tweaks like that can throw the timing off on your bump, thus leading to like a concussion or your neck getting jammed or your spine getting jammed. Um, and so there's all those little things with it that I think go into that heart style drop kick. But now the compromise is you focus too much on the back bump, protecting that because you plan like Owen used to do the drop kick back bump nip up. And it was insane. It was insane. It was sick. And it was sick because where most guys will focus too much on the back bump so that they can just prepare for the nip up, what's failed is the drop kick. They like
Yeah.
barely graze them or whatever, and the guy's like, "Rah." I'm like, oh come on. It's like I want to see that boost, like that bam, and then fall back, then nip up. But I was never able to really do that. Um, so anyways, answering your question, I did try to see how high I could get doing that hard style drop kick, and then it just accidentally turned into that. Uh, and it just got to where I was doing it to how guys were throwing away super kicks, um, similar to how Vaughn was saying when he started. Because
Yeah.
thanks, Nick and Matt, super kicks were just being thrown out like a running clothesline and a comeback. I was doing a similar type throwaway with my Dropsault where I would hit three or four in a row just as like a big shine or some type
Yeah.
you know. So you learn like placement and value and stuff like that when you hopefully get with somebody that can teach you that. I would say Kidman taught me a lot about that in terms of like, oh, that's too big, or no, that's okay, yeah, that's good. Like that's no, that's way too big, or just placement and value.
Because I would assume that you eventually kind of learned that the drop salt should kind of be the end of the sequence because it is the unique part of it, right? Is that kind of like
Well,
where you ended
yeah.
up going with it?
Wait, say that one more time.
Like, did you end up having the drop salt at like the end of your shine? Like rather than like throw four, just do the one because it's cool and
It
it's unique,
wasn't,
right?
it wasn't, it wasn't even that. It was
Right.
like, um, I don't think I ever used it as a capper to my shine.
Okay.
Uh, maybe I did. Uh, yeah, to think of it, you're right. I think I did actually. I had this match with Saturn and I did it then. But I think that would have been on his coaching in that
Right.
moment
Yeah.
where I was like, well, I'll just do that. And he's like, well, why don't you do that last? And I'll take the bump. That's what my memory of that would have been because I don't think I still understood. Whereas later on, I understood like the best example of this whole point is AJ Styles.
Mm.
Um, his drop kick is literally phenomenal. And I tell students all the time, well, notice how he never gets goes for the pin off of that.
Mm,
Because if he did, he knows that's not the finish. And if people kick out or whatever, if that doesn't beat somebody, then it's not as phenomenal as it looks.
Right.
And so he hits that drop kick, he hits it and he puts it in a specific spot so that he can then hit an advertisement basically for himself and
Yeah.
be like,
That's his
how?
pose move, I
Yes, I
remember.
agree with all 20, 30 plus thousand of you. That was phenomenal. I'm with you. We're on the same party. This is fucking awesome. Yes, yeah, like this is who I am, blah, blah, blah. And he's not pinning him and he's letting that guy sell, but that rarely matters because all eyes are all on him.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so it keeps that move phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I
You
don't
know
think
what I
anybody's
mean?
watching AJ hit that drop kick and thinking, "Oh, you should go for the cover." Like
No,
yeah, because it
because
is
it's
his moment
become
to
such a
shine.
stamp on what he
Yeah.
does and what he's
Way to say
capable
it.
of doing, and it's just like it's a hit song. It's funny. It makes me think of Joey Hayes, who was a PCW mainstay and one of
Mhm.
my good friends in the UK. Um, and every time Flutter, because Flutter's a big mark, and he would bring over like any guy who just got released. He'd be like, Flutter would bring him over, and so
Orlando
like
Jordan.
oh, exactly. I mean, tons of these guys. So Jordan. So I don't know if OJ ever went over. Maybe he did. Maybe recently for a different type of flight. Um, but we were over there, and he brought Shelton over, and I remember he was working Joey. Joey always worked a lot of these guys that would come over, and Flutter would book multiple names on a show, much like
Yeah.
today, I guess. So I was like, "Hey, Joey, who do you got?" And he's like, "Bob Sheldon." I'm like, what kind of match you got?" And he's like, "Greatest hits." Uh, so it would always be this thing where Joey would always get sent these guys who would really just want to do their signature shit, and that was about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's like you didn't have to really put a match together with these guys because you know what they
Right.
do,
Yeah.
and you kind of you should know where to put it, and if they want it to be somewhere specific, they'll tell you. But Sheldon's easy to work with, anyways. But Joey never had a problem with any of these guys. But it was just funny because it would always be like, "Oh, greatest hits." But one time, going back to Flutter being a mark, uh, he booked um, Funkasaurus, whatever. What's that
Brodus
fucking guy's name?
Brodus
Clay.
Clay. Yeah.
Yeah, from like fresh after getting fired or
Oh man.
released, he booked that dude, and I was already somewhat
Tyrus.
of like a
Tyrus. That was his
Yes.
name.
yeah, Tyrus, that's his name.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
already somewhat of like a PCW regular at this point, and um, so Flutter would do these 3 nights, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe sometimes two on Sunday. Like he would do like a morning show and an evening. Anyways, and they were all at the Evoke nightclub, and Funkasaurus Tyrus, whatever, showed up, and he was there Friday night, and uh he got out there and he had such a terrible reaction because he was like, "Oh, I'm serious. Like, I'm gonna do dancing or anything,"
Mm.
and that's all people wanted him to do.
Right.
And the match was like so bad, as if you would expect that. Afterwards, Flutter went up to him. He's like, you can. I'll still pay you for the rest of the weekend, but like, just come out and just dance. Like, you don't have to wrestle or anything." Um, and he was like all offended. But I was kind of pissed because like this guy came into the locker room, and he just put his headphones on, didn't say hi to anybody, and just stayed on his phone. I thought like, man, fuck this guy. Like he's probably making more than like the rest of us put together, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So uh I ended up latching onto the coattails of this Comic Con that was in Wrexham in Wales. And Doug Williams got on at the tail end of it with me as well. So it was this big like Wrexham Wales Comic Con, and it had all these different kind of celebrity people, whatever. A lot of actors, saw a lot of cool actors and stuff there. But then there was like this wrestling like area, and it had all these superstars. Maybe Animal when he was still with
Mhm.
us. Jimmy Hart. There was a few like actual name guys, like maybe Tugboat. I can't remember. And then Doug Williams and I were in a separate little area. It looked like we were selling tickets or lemonade or something. We weren't with the wrestlers because we got added so late. So we're walking around and they're all there, and then Tyrus is there. And then his poster it says Tyrese, whatever, and it's like pro wrestling legend. And I'm like, what the
That's
fuck?
so
So like,
funny.
yeah, I took a picture of it and because I was like, oh, there's no way I'm gonna get that poster. So I took a picture of it, and then every time I would show it to somebody, I'd be like, what's strange about this? And they're like, legend. I'd be like, yeah, right. Yeah.
That's
You know,
great.
So funny.
Paul, you brought up AJ Styles. I see clips and edits so much, especially this year with him retiring, of you and him, his match at Night of Grudges,
Mhm.
um,
Oh yeah.
Ring of Honor. Do you have any memories of getting in there with a young AJ
Yeah, well,
Styles?
I met AJ initially at WCW
Oh
because
wow.
yeah, this is when he was teaming with Air Paris, and he'll he'll deny it, but I always like to remind him when I would see him, be like, man, you were a prick. Like when I met him, he's like, oh no, I wasn't, Paul. Come on, you making that up, Paul. Um, but he was brand new, and I got brought into WCW as like an extra utility guy with Dory Funk Jr. But then I was at the last Thunder, and him and Air Paris, I think, had a match, and I was a big fan. I was like, oh, I want to meet these guys. And anyways, I that's just a little funny AJ thing, but we became fast friends like when we met, and we actually we met going to Japan together for 01.
Okay.
Or maybe we met before that somewhere in there. But then I remember we really got to know each other and hang out in Japan because we both went over there for the first time for 01. And I ended up, we met in Minneapolis. This is when Northwest Airlines was still in business. We met in Minneapolis, and I remember going up to him. And I was like, "Hey, I don't know, man. I don't have a ticket. Like, I don't know what the fuck. This is crazy." I was like freaking out. And they're like, "Can you come up to the front desk, pull on in your ticket?" I was like, "Oh." And I went up there and I got my ticket because I think they had like oversold the flight or something. And this is from Minneapolis to Narita, and I was like, "Man, what is this? I don't know what this is." And I showed him, and he looks. He's like, business class. Oh man, what the hell? I'm like, oh, where's that bed? He's like, that's our first class. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. And he's like, that's crazy. So I would have AJ like come and hang out with me because he had like a GameCube or some shit.
Yeah.
And
Of course he did.
yeah,
Yeah.
he really funny. But uh, what's funny about that flight is I think like one of the businessmen in the first class or business class was annoyed with this American like white trash uh dipshit in business class who had his honky friend coming up sitting next to him periodically throughout the what 16-hour flight or whatever the fuck 18-hour flight. And so on the descent, mind you, I had tried every meal. It was like, I'll have the traditional Japanese, like I'm gonna get all in ingratiate, like initiated, or by the time I land, I'll know exactly what to eat. So by the time we're landing, I that was not the case. I was like, fuck that, I don't want any more of this shit. I'll take the breakfast pizza. You know
Breakfast
what I mean?
pizza.
And yeah, because I'm like, I don't want the gozu, whatever the fucking breakfast with miso, cold lettuce, or the lettuce with. I don't want a salad for breakfast. Um, and with corn. Um, so I get this breakfast pizza, and I take a bite. I'm like, hey. I start spitting down. There's all this blood starts coming out of my mouth, and there was broken, sprinkled glass all over my pizza. I swear to God. Um, and it had cut my mouth open. And so I was like, oh, I showed this lady. She was like, oh my God.
This is on the descent, you said. Like you're
Yeah.
flying. Oh Jesus.
Well, we're nearing the descent. They served the
Yeah.
last meeting. And then they gave me some bullshit like paper report thing to like write, like to send back when I landed. And then soon after, Northwest went under, went defunct.
Was there no
But I just can't
excuse as
believe
to
it.
why or reasoning it was the
Nothing,
broken glass?
nothing, nothing,
Huh.
nothing. It was as if somebody broke up the perfect sized morsels and put it
Yeah.
in a little pouch, and like all the pieces, like it wasn't, because we would
It's
think,
like
oh,
seasoning. Yeah.
maybe a glass broke and some of the pieces fell into it, and like in that case,
It
all
was
the pieces would be
perfect.
different sizes. But
Right.
it was like the most even, like a fucking ninja or something. Yeah, as if it was like a topping.
No, literally, that's crazy. But that's so that was a flight with
I was
AJ.
like, oh man, these crazy ass. I think
But
a
it's so.
ninja tried to kill me. They're like, it
But
could be. Ninja are Japanese.
do you think you and AJ like blended well in there together in the ring?
We did. Our styles were very similar. We did a show together in Texas for Legacy Wrestling Entertainment or something. It was like a one-off show. This kid borrowed like 20 grand from his family, um, and
That's
blew it on this show that had myself, AJ, Chris Candido versus
Wow.
Sandman was the main event. Uh, um, Hot Stuff Hernandez was there. Tammy was there. Uh, Mil Mascaras showed up and was on the show. Manny Fernandez was on the show. Uh, it was just this crazy show. AJ and I teamed against the Overboys, who were two friends of mine, and we had this show, and then Candido and Tammy showed up like minutes before their match, and they were not in the best condition.
mm,
I love Chris, and I love his brother. Like, I love that family. Like, just those guys are wrestling through and through. And but he wasn't in the best, headset. So they went out and had this match with Sandman, and it like got crazy. Like Tammy's like getting all involved, and they spun to the crowd. And I remember Sandman got back into the ring, and Candido grabbed like a beer out of this guy's hand, like this almost full beer can, and like launched it, and it nailed Sandman in the neck. And he got pissed. He thought like a fan threw it, so he picked it up and like just launched it like wildly, and it like grazed like a baby carriage or like a little baby stroller thing. And so the cops started like wanting to shut the whole thing down. And then the promoter's like, get them out of there. And like he's sending us all down there. And I remember Tammy, she was AJ and I are trying to pull her out of the ring, and she's like, "Get me back in there, power drive me on the guardrail." And I'm like, "I'll drive you on the guard. What the fuck does that mean?" And and she's like, "Power drive me on the guardrail." She kept trying to like fight and like get back, and AJ and I are like trying to hold like pull her back, like we look like the security guards, like no, and and then we picked her up and we gave her to Hot Stuff Hernandez, and we're like, here. And he's like, I don't want her. And he just like dumped her on the ground. And then she like slithered back into the ring. And I think she ended up getting a pile driver on the guardrail, actually.
Like she
Um,
lied.
yeah.
fuck.
And then they shut the whole thing down. It was like at this rodeo arena in Arlington, I think. And so AJ and I always have a laugh about that. We just clicked. I don't know. I mean, we don't click on the religious stuff or like, he's a Southern boy and um gay community. Uh and so have you heard that? That's one of my favorite clips.
It's one of the best clips of all time.
It's so,
Yeah, AJ, I have a
but
question
I
for you.
love the guy. I think he's amazing. I mean, he's awesome.
Did you
And
expect him to retire this year so abruptly?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. He's not an idiot. I mean, he's smart and he's a man of like morals and dignity, and he's made enough. I would imagine he's made enough money that he's got a plan, and um if he doesn't, I know his Jesus does. So you know I'm happy for him. He's not brain dead, he's not crippled. in the sense that he can live a life with his family and kids, and like who wouldn't want that?
I mean, he's
Yeah,
still working for WWE. I believe
he
he's
is.
scouting now because I saw him at WrestleCon weekend in Las Vegas. There, he was backstage.
Even better.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
keep
And his
bleeding their
son's
money,
wrestling
keep
now.
taking their money, and
Son.
do
Yeah.
no harm on his body. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
Vaughn, I
Hopefully
want
they'll
to,
listen to him.
yeah. No, I'm sure. Vaughn, I want to ask you about a specific match at C4 Wrestling you have with Mustafa Ali. I,
Okay,
I
yeah.
heard you walked away from the match, and you said that made you realize like you really didn't know anything up to that point with just how good he was in there with you.
Yeah,
Take us back to that
yeah.
match.
I've always equated it to like I've heard CM Punk over the years talk about how he wrestled Eddie in like 2002 when he was in that period outside of WWE there. But like that's when he's like realized like, oh, I don't know anything. You know? That's what it felt like with Mustafa. Like I just like, wow, I have so much to learn. But another thing I also learned about that is that like it kind of humanized him to me. Like everybody still has anxiety and whatnot in wrestling. He was just coming off WWE, and every single show he was booked on was being sold out because people wanted to see him on the Indies. And he kind of said to me like, I just don't understand. Like I'm used to being at WWE where people were here to see Randy Orton, you
Mm.
know, and now I'm doing these independents, and it's like they're here to see me. Like that's different. I've never been through this before, and he was kind of explaining this to me. And I'm like, you're telling me this? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a really, really, really cool guy. He's somebody who went out of his way to um, put over my wrestling on social media without even meeting him. And that got me booked on Progress in the UK and a couple other things.
Nice.
And then I was able to do WWE extra work one time and thank him um, to his face. And then this match happened about a year when he was left WWE after. So,
So,
Is he
yeah.
Canadian?
no, he's from Chicago.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
There's a
There are
spot
some
in
good
that
parts of
match.
Chicago.
There's a spot in the match that reminds me of the Paul and AJ match that we were just talking about. He 450s your arm. Uh,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
funny
Yep.
because I was thinking I didn't even answer his question. I just gave him basically my relationship with AJ besides that match.
I know. I was like, we'll hear about it eventually. Tell us
But
next.
no,
But yeah.
uh, I had some issue where I had some medical issue where I couldn't do something, and he replaced me as a partner, I think, with Red, and it turned into some issue where I ended up getting to be a heel. So the match with AJ, pretty sure that might be the only time we've worked against each other. Honestly, I'm
I think,
almost
yeah.
positive. I'm pretty sure that's the only time we've ever worked against each other. But no, it was super, super fun because that was my first chance to really kind of take the heel position of the match. And I prefer it. I prefer heel. It's more fun. And now, especially, it allows me to kind of dictate the pace and,
So you
whoa,
can throw
not
garbage
yet.
cans.
Okay, okay. Here, it's easier to hopefully kind of share or teach something from the heel position. It's much more difficult from the babyface position where theoretically you're underneath most of the match or a good portion of the match. It's just tougher to communicate from underneath. Still possible. Heel's more fun anyways, in my opinion. But so I got to do that for the first time there, and I felt like everyone really responded to that. But the leg stuff, yeah, it got very specific. And I don't really know where that like the specificity of doing the shooting star onto the leg. I, I don't know where that came from. I feel like I was in kind of some sort of mindset. I think I was going to Dory's quite a bit, and he's who really helped me with the shooting star by having me do it like 20 or 25 times in a row onto a crash pad and being like, tuck your knees and like get your knees to your chest. And like, man. And so it just became so effortlessly something that I could do easily that I thought, well, why don't I try to do a shooting star to his leg if he sells a certain way? And then I think I did something similar with Danielson later to his back
Yeah.
when he's like getting up on all fours, or he's on his knees and hands, and I think I did it to his back there. I did that to Steen at PWG to his back when he's on all fours. But the leg one, that's the only time I'd ever done it to the leg. And then the dragon screw thing that a lot of people talk about as well.
Mm.
Um, that I can't remember where I learned that, or if it just seemed like something that just seemed to make sense. That like, why wouldn't I go with it? It's like when you're driving, and if you start to slick or go slick on the road, like you're kind of supposed to kind of go with it, not try to recorrect
Yeah.
it. And so I thought, well, what if I just flow with it? And then it made sense to both of us. And then it wasn't something we practiced. It was just our timing couldn't have been better on most of the things that we did. Um, I did crack his tooth in that match.
Oh, really? With what spot?
Yeah.
He whips me, I come underneath and I hit him with a back elbow.
Mm.
So he goes to shoot me off and I reverse by coming underneath his arm and then I hit him with a back elbow that chipped his tooth. And then I think we do something where I baseball slide through, grab his leg, trip him or whatever. But yeah, I remember I chipped his tooth there and I felt horrible because I really like him. And I was like, oh, maybe like drink milk or something. I was like trying to think of.
It was such a good match. Vaughn, was that 450 on the arm your idea, or was that Uswa's idea?
That was his idea to get like sympathy from the crowd to kind of work the arm throughout it and just basically kick the shit out of my arm for a
Yeah.
good portion of it. Yeah.
Thought it was
What did he do to sell into position where the arm would be exposed?
I'm trying to remember. I know I was like getting up on the ropes
yeah.
and I just had that out of like in frame and then he just came on. I can't remember how I got there though. I think he may have went to the top and I had like started fighting hooking something and he fought me off and then I fell down and got up in position. Believe.
So he had his arm on a rope of sorts, like so he
He
wasn't like
was
he was.
he was on he 450'd me, so he was on the top rope.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I
to
went up to
your
meet him.
arm.
To my arm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh shit! I thought the other way. I was like, holy
I
shit!
can't I
Swan
can't do it.
Toms and
I
Fortune.
can't
This
do
guy
it.
does it all. So
He did we did do I went for the Vaughn-ton on him and he stepped back and just kicked me in the back midair. That was a
Yeah.
fuck
fun one.
that.
Yeah.
Did you still land on your feet?
No, not on that one.
Oh, that's good then, because I was like,
No.
that's a lot of impact.
I've missed the Swanton maybe 3 or 4 times. I'm very picky with that one.
Paul,
Damn.
Paul, I wanted to ask you this last time. Can you explain the hilarious clip that I always see of you doing your entrance in WWE and sliding through the entire ring to the other
Oh,
side? What
I
is the
think I have
backstory
that
behind that?
gear. I have that gear around here somewhere.
Sitting over there,
Was it the gear that did it?
Yeah.
the gear
What
that
was
did
it?
it.
Yeah, I think it was another thing where I felt I wasn't getting any promo time or time to talk. Like, how do I make myself stand out more? And guys would always be like, you shouldn't run during your entrance. You should stop running. Kidman especially would always be like, you shouldn't run during your entrance. I'm like, well, I'm the only guy that runs. And I
Well,
liked the Rockers and
did they give you like a
Warrior.
time cue for how long your entrance was supposed to be? Because was it supposed to be like 25 seconds each time? Like
No, they didn't give
they
me a
didn't say any
time
of that?
cue.
Okay.
They didn't say any of that. And so their reasoning for me not running was it doesn't give the people a chance to see my face better.
Right.
So like when you're walking down, you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. So they thought I was eliminating that, which I guess I was, but I didn't really care because I thought, okay, I want to be more like the frenetic energy babyface guy. So then it got to where I started doing that. And I think when I switched to like the AMAs, um, knee pads is when it really started to become like the light bulb started to go off because I would slide in and I would get midway And I'd slide in, I get a little farther, I slide in, get a little farther. And then I got to the point where I was like, I am gonna haul ass and try to like get in. And like, there's a timing thing to that because uh, ask, rest in peace, Test and Scott Steiner both had their noses broken sliding in under the bottom rope and getting their face shattered on the their nose shattered on the bottom rope just from like a run in, like a
Yeah.
solid kind of run in, right? And mind you, they're like twice my weight
Yeah.
uh in size. Uh but I'm like hauling ass down a ramp and I could have like decapitated myself. So I so then I just thought I could do it, and I got to where I could do it. I think I was wearing the Pac-Man tights, which I know are in here, and I started just being able to slide all the way across. And then I was like, well, I'm gonna fall out. That'd be fucking hilarious. And then I slid all the way out and made it seem like I fell out and was like, oh, where am I? And then like people seem to remember it, and I guess they liked it because it just seemed so ridiculous. Um, I was like sliding almost like under Lillian Garcia at times and
Yeah.
stuff.
Was
So yeah, it was. I wish it would have. It would have been neat if it turned into a something, or if I'd have had an area where I could have used it as like
Yeah,
a
like baseball
spot or
slide under
yeah.
somebody, like or so, yeah,
something.
opening
I
legs,
mean, that's
something.
that's
Yeah.
getting like way too AEW set up
Yeah.
and stupid.
I thought it was very
Mouth
cool.
tap.
Was there any like backstage reaction to that, or they just
Nobody
they
was
weren't paying
watching
attention?
Velocity. Like nobody
I
gave a
was.
shit.
Yeah,
Nobody
I was.
I remember seeing that.
nobody gave two shits. Here's you want to know what the I'll tell you what the feedback was on that. Um I'll tell you exactly.
You guys had agents on Velocity at that era, did you?
Unfortunately,
Yeah. Okay.
I need to
un
see what this feedback is that you have.
unfortunately. Oh, here's like a SmackDown shirt that has all the fringe cut off of it that I did. I
Oh,
was
that's
wearing in the Battle Royal WrestleMania 21, I think. Um, are these the Pac-Man tights? I can't really tell. Uh, I don't think these are gonna be them. No, I'll find them. But what they
you're
tell
fine.
me was like they were like you can't wear those anymore. Like we can't afford to get sued because of you. Um, and they
Wow.
didn't even have Pac-Man on them. They had kind of like I don't know if you can see it. It's like this little logo.
Hmm.
Oh shit. Did my camera go out?
No, no, no. We see you.
What the fuck is this? I swear I'm technologically stunted. Yeah, like this little logo right here,
Yeah.
I had made into like it was like eating pellets
Hmm.
around my gear, and I put like an eye in there or something. And then I had like a ghost on my ass, and they were like, "We're gonna get sued. Can't ever wear those again." Um, so
That's crazy.
that's all they could.
Unfortunate that that was the feedback because I thought it was very entertaining. That
Dude, the
slide through.
notes I got were always, "You can't do this again."
Right. At least we got to see it the one time. But you bring up Pac-Man. It's a cool segue here because Vaughn, I know I've heard you say you got into wrestling through the SVR games
Yes.
originally.
Yeah.
And Paul, I know you are not a gamer, at least not a modern day gamer, but you were in a few of those SmackDown versus Raw games.
I
And
was.
I'd love to hear if you have any memories because I am also a huge fan of those games, of being put in and like what that process was like.
Um, they came to TV with like a big truck, Now this is back when THQ is making them.
Yes, the good days.
The good days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
THQ was making them, and they would bring this big truck. It was similar actually to the the toys in a way that they would scan you, and then like this 360 scan around your face. Um, there was a little bit more, there was obviously more body movement involvement for like the video game stuff, but uh later on, if there was any like motion, like I've never done any mocap for myself.
Right.
I've done mocap
Other people.
for other people, including China. Um,
Sweet.
but I've never done mocap for myself. And yeah, I was in a few of those games, and I play. You know, when you do the video game at Mania, the challenge or whatever, I Chicago, I was in that one, and I got to the finals against Shelton. Like I beat Edge and I beat Kennedy, and
Is that
I
the
got
one
to the
that
final.
that's the one that Shelton always won or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shelton always won. And so I was playing myself, but at that point I was just like a button masher. So I was like, what the? I don't play this game. I'm not gonna like only a jerk off willingly gets a game to play as themselves all the time. And like you're a mark for yourself. And I just it was never not something I was really into in terms of like even for me wrestling games. I'm more like I'd rather Tecmo Pro Wrestling with Starman and Amazon,
Hmm.
uh, those characters, or Sega Genesis had was it Monday Night Raw? I think, but it had like Undertaker, heel Shawn Michaels, when he was still doing the teardrop suplex as a finish. I think that Adam Bomb was in that game and they took him out. I know he was in the game and they took him out. Razor Ramon was in that game. Mr. Perfect was in that game. Papa Shango was in that game.
Oh, that's so
Doink was in that game. That game was sick. That was one of my favorites. Wrestle Challenge or whatever, Wrestling Superstars, the classic with like Demolition,
hmm
Road Warriors, Perfect. That's arcade staple. Like that's a favorite ever. Um, so yeah, I mean, as machines got, progressively more advanced and um, quarters weren't a necessity anymore. Uh, the last gaming system I had a Game Boy Pro or a Game Boy Advance or something, but the last one I really cared about, I think might have been like my Sega Game Gear or my Atari Lynx. I don't really know. I loved both of them. They were
No
amazing.
Xboxes or PlayStations for you.
I've never had. I've had a Super Nintendo. I've never had an Xbox. I've never had a PlayStation. I wouldn't even. I didn't even know how to turn those things on, man. Like I don't. I'd
Yeah.
probably have. I'd have better luck with like a laser disc, um, or a Dreamcast. I think that was similar to the laser disc.
Yeah. I don't think I've played those consoles. A bit of a
The
separation.
Commodore 64.
The Vaughn, you're forever linked now with your tag partner, Gabriel Fuerza, and we were talking a little bit off air, but you didn't even want to be in a tag team at first, right?
It wasn't like our initial idea. It was just we're both small guys and they didn't see anything for us. It was like, put them together. They're friends anyways. They have chemistry.
Yeah.
And that's, 13 years later, we're teaming on Maple Leaf Pro. And so
That's huge. I
That is,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's
it's cool. Yeah.
huge.
Did you find
That's
it like
awesome.
to go from a singles to a tag and then like back to singles? Is that difficult to kind of work with that?
Yeah, because we haven't like just these past couple weeks we've been tagging again. It was like trying to get the chemistry back of doing all the things we used to do. It doesn't come easily, and the psychology is different and the timing's different. It's yeah, we're getting back to it good. Like it's feeling better, but we'll see when the next tapings we do.
Well, it's nice because you can do less of your stuff and he can do less of his stuff.
Yeah,
And really, it's like you're bringing your singles menu to the restaurant. He's bringing his singles menu to the restaurant. And
Yep.
now you're like paring it down. You're like, let's kind of maybe if we combine, maybe this will be something we do for like the appetizer
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Let's maybe we'll use something like that, and I'll use something for my menu, yeah, for the entree.
And I think
Oh,
like
this will be
early
sweet
on
pound.
when we like initially started tagging, it was like, well, I want to do this list of things and he wants to do this list of things. And now it's like we're at the point where it's like, no, we should be doing a lot less of anything. So now we can really just
Completely.
hone in on what the couple things we want to do.
Oh, psychology.
Yeah.
Uh, do you work mostly as baby faces or as heel team?
Mostly baby faces, yeah.
Sick. Make sure those fucking heels cut the ring in half. That's something
Yep.
most heel teams just don't know how to do properly, is cut the ring in half.
Yeah.
Well, you have somewhere to crawl to, and it just gives it a more visual help with, I mean,
Hmm.
mostly in Canada, they're better with it. I think than a lot of times in America, where it's just come in whenever you want to.
I do think in
Um,
Canada we have some pretty good, decently trained wrestlers.
I agree. No, I agree. I agree. Canada's not as oversaturated as the States. The
No.
States are the most the States is the most oversaturated when it comes to wrestling and independence, like easily.
Yeah. The
Um,
the UK also might be getting there just because of how
I was
small
about to
the
say
place is.
UK is like right nipping at America's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Paul, do you remember developing any tag moves with Brian? Because I feel like you guys had such an innovative arsenal.
Yeah, we
Power bomb,
tried
slice bread.
to we
Yeah.
did. We
Mhm.
we we tried to use what we used together and complement each other with stuff. I would say I probably took like the higher risks most of the nights just because it seemed to work out that way.
Hmm.
Like for example, I don't think, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you guys can correct me, but I'm still not sure if anyone else has ever done the running shooting star off of their partner's back.
I haven't seen it.
Um,
Yeah, I don't think so.
and that wasn't, that's like nightly. Like, I mean, we were doing that on house shows. I did that at Madison Square Garden, actually, before I even got on TV, against Matt and Shannon, um, Brian and I, and it was used as like our last big falsie,
Mm.
before they beat us. And then I remember using that a couple times. And then later, when we were tag champs, whatever, we've used it as a finish on a pay-per-view. Maybe twice we've used it as a finish. Maybe once was on TV. But, the running shooting star off the back is, I still haven't yet to see anyone else do that ever. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I have. Maybe I don't know.
I don't think I
So,
haven't seen it. You guys had a lot of great moments. There's one I just want to ask you about. What is the story behind you're saving Triple H with Brian, and then you guys get pedigreed anyway for
don't remind me
saving?
about that shit.
I'm sorry.
Um,
I'm
no, it's
curious
okay.
why that
No,
happened.
Hunter's like one of the most insecure people you'll ever come across, which is probably why he got into bodybuilding because he's a pathetic, just he's not a good person. And so he hides behind all this shit, you know what I mean? Like a fake body and like a fake personality and like a fake oh yeah, we're on the same team. Oh yeah. Oh no, it's for your best interest. Like he's just such a snake. Um, and I'm pretty sure, I'm sure Dana White is like his hero. That's like what he dreams to or aspires to be. Let him. Can't see Dana White's anything better. So, but I don't know Dana White. I just know from my experiences with Hunter. So that day, Brian and I got to TV. I think we might even got there early, and Hunter was waiting for us. And so we were like, okay, this is weird. Like, this guy usually scraping us off his, you know, whatever. And something may be going on here. So we showed up, and he was immediately in like pitch and defend mode. So he was like, "Hey, you guys, no," we were like, "Oh, pretty sure we're on time." Oh no, something about that. I just wanted to talk to you guys right now because we're gonna be working today. We're gonna be doing a little something. It wasn't my idea. Just wanted to let you guys know it's not my idea. Kevin Dunn's idea, actually. And we're gonna be doing something today on TV. And it's gonna be live, but we're gonna be working today. It wasn't my idea. Just remember, it's Kevin Dunn's idea. Wasn't my idea, by the way. But we're gonna be doing the thing later. We'll get with you guys later. But it'll be, it'll be good. I think it's gonna be. Again, it wasn't my idea. It was Kevin Dunn's idea. Like it was just like, what the fuck? So we get to the thing, and th what a lot of people forget about how shitty that whole thing was that he wrestled Cade and Murdoch, who were the Raw tag champions. He wrestled them 2-on-1 in a handicap match and still beat them. So he beat the tag division by himself.
That's
And then that's not good enough. So so they send Umaga. So he's the numbers are just too great. Who are we gonna send? Send the fire kids, the firemen, right? Send those rookie. Like, okay, right? Hold on. So we fight them off. What is somebody who really genuinely cares about the business? What's their mind thinking? Hmm, we might have something here because it got a reaction when we saved them. And it's like, oh, we might have something here. What if we come back next week with the sixth person?
Yeah.
Cade Murdoch get more of a rub, and these two get a rub that they so fucking desperately need. How about that? That helps business. Nah, I gotta be the one here, right? So that is my one, if not, well, it's one of, but it might be my one preeminent lone regret um, of my time there. We didn't even get like a revenge angle. Like, hey, Hunter, what the hell? Right? Like, we didn't get anything. So that was my one. That's like my biggest regret is like that I didn't go off a script. And I knew I would have been fired, but that for my not whatever street cred, but like for my ability to get work after that, I would have been okay for a while. You know.
yeah.
But I didn't see it that way at the time because I was still young, I was in my 20s, but I was like still stupid naive in a sense of like, well, maybe if I do like if I hit this out of the park, then maybe they'll do something with this. You know what I mean? It was just like
Yeah. Well, how could you? I mean, you were yeah, young and
you're
new in your
already
career at that
drinking the
point.
fucking Kool-Aid with an enema at that point. So it's
Well, I do want to thank both of you for being so courteous with your time on this one. This has been fun. I feel like we've been all over Paul's house, all over a lot of different topics.
you've only been in
It's
two
been
rooms with the
We can
bed
go
and
around my house if you want.
two
with
of
the
the
B
best,
and
yeah.
B.
But awesome, like show and tell everything. I really appreciate it. Vaughn, for you, final question for you.
Yeah.
Any long-term future short-term goals that are on your horizon that we should look out for?
I mean, I've been wrestling in Europe for like since 2017, and this past year and a half been focusing on doing stuff in the States since I got the visa. Honestly, more of that would be nice. Just doing, getting into the bigger promotions in the States. And now with Maple Leaf Pro opening up in Canada and us having a TV deal up here with TSN, which is the same channel, but it is the sports channel up here in Canada. It is a
Oh yeah,
really
TSN,
TSN. Yeah, it's generally a big deal.
the
Really,
ticket.
really just focusing on that and trying to get the word out there. But Canadian wrestling it's all that, and hoping people show up and watch it and keep buying tickets to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. No, that's huge. Well, good luck with that. And thank you. It's been cool just hearing a bit of your journey here. Paul, my final question for you. Did you really get fired for smiling at Vince McMahon? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That is not it.
I
If you
wish.
have if you have any
What is your
advice,
Mount Rushmore?
yeah. Yeah, what is your Mount
Yeah.
Rushmore? Do you have any words of wisdom or advice for Vaughn as he continues his journey in wrestling?
Man, just really, I mean, really trust your instincts as you're doing already. I mean, that's so important. Everyone's gonna have an opinion about how you should do your thing, and if it doesn't smell good and doesn't taste good and it doesn't sit right with you, explore that because that's your instincts, your intuition. I'm not saying it's stead proof, like, oh, it means Final Destination's gonna happen. Like, I'm not saying that, but it's just there's so many bullshitters, as you know, that well, let me put it this way as well. Like, as I like to quote my friend Mark Jindrak, 5 plus 5 isn't the only way to get to 10. And so success in your eyes doesn't have to match what most people might think is success. But I do think I think there's a party that probably feels like you owe it to yourself to at least experience it. And I agree. But I don't know what any of those atmospheres would feel like now. I can only think or imagine, but I think for as long as you've been doing this, which still isn't even that long, um, I think, you've hit the decade, which is awesome. But I think now you're like really refining your sculpture to where it's like I said, I didn't even, I was like, you're the coolest, hippest producer on the scene. Like, who's this guy? I want to talk to this guy. You know what I mean? Like, they already, I mean, there's so many things you would have clicking for you, but man, there's so many things that are obviously out of our control. Just try to focus on the things that are in your control. Australia is another great country that, may not have a whole lot in terms of being able to boost your career with a job, but it can open pathways to like Malaysia, Singapore, and I know that you can get into Australia pretty easily because it's also a Commonwealth.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, and there's a ton of talent out there as well. Um, and AEW seems to go there periodically. Who knows whether they end up on a pay-per-view or just doing a glorified house show is another thing.
Mhm.
So, you know, Jindrak went to Mexico and made a star of himself for like over a decade. Had like cologne and like panties and like all these.
I know he's literally like a star over there. Yeah, like an
Yeah.
acting
Yeah.
star. Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, he's back in the States now. I think he's in Knoxville or something now, or somewhere in Tennessee. But point is, it doesn't just have to be the overly glossy,
Yeah.
overly produced WWE product that seems to not taste good to a lot of people right now. So um, there's wrestling in. I just found out there's 4 promotions in Bali.
You ever
Literally
heard of
I'm
you ever
like,
heard of WrestleMap.com? You should go there.
Oh, that's cool.
oh,
I never
It's
heard of
it's
that.
it's a real thing. I don't know if it's been updated in a while, but somebody went out and put
who
points on the
created it?
map.
Matt Cross?
No, no, not Matt Cross.
It seems like he would
I
have
love him.
created it. I
He's
do
been to what,
too.
32 countries wrestling or something like that.
Something
I've
like that.
wrestled him a couple times. He's the man.
Yeah, always take pictures and try to find places in these towns on your travels that
Yep,
are interesting. You never know if you'll ever go back. And
exactly. Yeah.
I remember going to like Oberhausen or something one time for WXW, who I really enjoy.
Did you stay in the Hacienda?
And uh, n- did I stay in the what? In the
The
Hacienda?
Haas Union? It's the hotel like down the street from Oberhausen.
I stayed, no, I don't think
Or
I don't know
Tobin
if it
Hall.
was that. I didn't stay
Okay.
at the school either, thankfully, but the show was at the school. But anyways, I was delayed at the airport for like 5 or 6 hours. I was like, what is the deal here? And they had uncovered a mine from World War II, and it like shut down the city. Like,
Only in
yeah, they didn't
Londrick.
know if it was active or not. So it's just little things like that. I was just like, man, I think as North Americans, it's very easy to take a lot of things for granted, but that's honestly the sweetest part of the job is the ability to travel and see places and put things in your hands, like you see it in the flesh. I mean, that's the travel is that's such a gift. So when your peers are like, let's go to the room and, you know, watch clavicular reels and play video games, like, um, fuck those guys.
Go walk around Preston,
Yo,
Go
Walk
see the
around
cool stuff.
Preston.
Yeah,
Go
no,
get a Macca's.
I've had that mindset for a while. And
I know you
anytime
have.
I've flown in somewhere, I always make sure to arrive a couple days early if I've never been there before, kind of thing.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. No, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I can tell you have the right mindset for this, and that's something that's actually very refreshing. Um, it was like, please, Jonah, don't put me on with one of these cosplay dorks.
And no, I would never. No, and I found Vaughn. All right, though. Thank you both so much.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, John. Vaughn, thanks, man. It's a pleasure. I hope to be in touch with you. I'm still on X, Twitter, whatever,
Yeah, man, for sure.
but
I'll reach
I'm
out.
sure Jonah can put us in touch
Yeah.
because
Definitely.
Rewind, recap, relive. Woo! That's what the world is watching.